Coach, how do you go about making sure that your guys don't make as big of a deal of your team, I guess, as the media seems to and the coaches seem to, picking you guys first in the conference and then 13th?
Yeah, I mean, we were only picked first by 1 point, so let's keep that in perspective. But you know, we don't talk about anything other than basketball. So you would hope that your veteran guys realize that it's October and you're just trying to get better. You know, you get guys, you're trying to become a better team. You're trying to have guys become individually better players. So I don't ever talk about anything that goes on the outside. So we don't discuss it. So like, the only thing I would have a conversation with them about would be our schedule, and we better get ready to get good in a hurry, because you know, when you look at who we play in the non-conference, it's real, and we're going to get tested. So like that would be what I would discuss with them. You know, whether you're ranked or unranked, or people like you or don't like you, you're in the wrong business if you let that affect you, I guess. So we don't talk about it ever. And every year I approach it the same way. So, you know, we believe in just the between the lines is where everything is decided. And I try to keep, you know, I try to stay consistent with that. I don't want them to see me acting different because somebody else says our team's pretty good. In my opinion, nobody's any good right now. It's October. How could you be very good?
Do you talk to them about playing in a different arena for a season?
No.
Or do you think they're just adaptive and they'll go with it?
I just think, you know, it's when it comes to that stuff as a coach, anything that whether it's a player gets injured, where the game is, who the referees are, whether the fans are there or not there, those are all things that should have nothing to do with your focus and your effort and your energy and what you're trying to accomplish. So we have never discussed where we're playing. Now I thought about maybe doing a Gene Hackman thing, just so, because, you know, I know something like Kyle Washington's big on the rims. You know, he's a rim expert as far as tightness of the rim. I keep trying to tell him the goal is don't hit the rim. But he's very, very big on the tightness of the rims. I'm serious now. You get him in there, you ask him. He's an expert on rims. Yeah, no, he's into the, you know, he's so I think, you know, when it comes to that stuff, you know, he's one of the guys on the team that went over and played with Northern Kentucky's guys a few extra times this summer, just because, like, to him that matters. To me, it shouldn't matter at all. So we just don't discuss it a lot, you know.
Coach, with a fast point guard like Kane Broom.
What about Justin Jennifer?
Yeah, that too.
I'm just making sure you knew he was on the team.
How do you approach the line between aggressive and reckless?
With any player, I think, you know, that their strength is their weakness. So whether if it's a scorer, if you're coaching a guy who's a really good scorer, he's going to take a couple of shots every now and then that may be questionable. But you can't take his aggressiveness away. So now you're talking about a guy that's, any guy on our team that's good with the ball and he attacks with the ball and he's got great speed. You got to realize at times he's going to have some mistakes. But you got to live with that, because he's going to probably make more plays than a guy that maybe plays at a slower pace. So that's, you know, it's kind of what goes with it. You know, he's not going to, a guy like Justin and Kane, they're both, I'm asking them to push the pace at all times. They're going to have some turnovers. The ones I can live with are the ones where they're trying to push the pace.
For people that haven't seen Kane, which is most people around here, can you describe his game, what they're going to see from him?
He's a very shifty point guard. He's elusive. He can get by his man and put a lot of pressure on the other team defensively. He's a guy, because he can beat his man. You know, and I'd say offensively, he's a streaky shooter right now. He's more of a scorer than a shooter. But I think we're trying to get him to use his speed too on the defensive end. And he's still trying to find his way. You know, playing with these guys, you know, we rotate. We don't play with a starting five in practice. So we make things competitive. And with this team, I can tell you guys now, I've already told the guys, we will not start the same 5 guys. It'll be a game to game. It could be a matchup versus our opponent. It could be who earned it in practice. So I told them right now, you know, some of those guys, they need to lose their ego, because Trey Scott's way better. Nasir Brooks is way better. Justin Jennifer's a way better player than he was a year ago. And our freshmen are all very talented. So, you know, Kane's going to play. How much he plays will depend on how well he plays. But trying to get him to use his speed a little bit more on the defensive end. But he's shifty on offense. He can create a lot of offense.
How is his defenses?
Well, it's just, you know, again, if you were his coach at Sacred Heart and he had to play the whole game for you to win, the last thing you want him to do is foul. So you're not, you know, where for us, he and Justin are at the point of attack on our defense. So pressure on the ball is essential to our defense. And we lost Kevin Johnson, who was excellent at it. I mean, he was excellent. So Justin and Kane need to be able to do what Kevin did for us at the point of attack with our defense. And it's going to be extended more this year, so it's going to need to be even that much better.
I talked to you last week about Jacob Evans and referred to Kane Broom as a big scorer. You said you don't look at him that way. What do you look at him as? What do you think his role will be?
Kane Broom? Be the best player he can be. You know, I'm not real big into, you know, his role is to help. Every guy on this team has the same role in my mind: help the team win, play team basketball, take care of the ball, play great defense. If you're a guard, you got to, especially a point guard, you got to show leadership, get guys in the right position. You know, as far as how much you score, doesn't really matter to me. I'm interested in the team scoring.
But the fact that he was the 8th leading scorer in the country, that doesn't.
That's a different world. I think. I mean, okay, let's take every guard on our roster and put them at Sacred Heart, and let's see how many points they score. So, you know, then when you look at it that way, it's different. So Kane would be the first guy to tell you. I mean, he's much more than that. You know, he's got floor vision. He's a great passer. I mean, he's an excellent passer.
So fans who show up from what they've read or heard about Kane Broom expecting him to score 23, 24 points a game probably are not going to see that?
I'd be shocked. Doesn't mean, you know, hey, I'd be happy if he, trust me, I'm all for every guy on the team averaging 20. I'm all for it. You know, it's not my, but I just think he's playing on a much better team and against much different defense. You know, you go around the rim at the high level, everything at the rim is contested. So you know, a lot of points you can get at certain levels you can't get in our practice. Like you can't get those baskets around the rim.
And you've talked a lot about Justin Jennifer. You allude to him a lot. How has he improved?
I think he's just matured a lot. He's finally growing up. He's become much more coachable. I think his dedication level has improved. I think probably I let him accept a backup role too much. He didn't challenge Troy enough. And being an upperclassman now, he knows it's now or never for him. I've been really impressed with how hard he is trying to become a good player. I mean, he's really, really given everything he's got to make sure that he's able to help us, and he wants to play. He's every day, he is not taking a back seat.
Does he push Kane every day in practice?
Oh, yeah, every day. Every day. So there's been days where he's been our best player in practice.
Coach, you mentioned you don't want to go all Gene Hackman, but I mean, is Saturday, does it do something for your guys just going there and playing in that arena? Does it do something to get them?
Oh, no doubt. You got to get them over there.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why Saturday is good. We're even going to wear uniforms just because I wanted to make usually in the red-black, we wouldn't wear a uniform. We wear our practice gear. We're going to wear uniforms. So they try to get a feel of, you know, this is where we're playing all year. But they, like I said, you got to go a little Gene Hackman because Kyle needs to know the rim is the same height. Now he's going to dispute that. You know, he just like right now behind me, they dispute. They think that the west basket is much easier to shoot on than the east basket. So, Again, if you don't hit the rim, I don't see how it matters. But hey, players, you know, I think as a coach, you got to respect that your players do have things. You don't want them thinking about stuff like that. So you got to get them comfortable. So, you know, in the next few weeks, we're going to do everything we can to get comfortable.
You talked about the past non-conference games with teams like Ohio State, who wants you to play or who doesn't want to play you. Obviously, you're going to play Ohio State next year. Have you noticed a renewed sense with the new staffing there of that pipeline being connected again?
You talking about at Ohio State?
Yeah, at Ohio State.
I think it's great that they're playing us, and it wasn't very complicated. You know, we have a posting on the. There's websites where you schedule games in our world, and we're always looking for high major home and homes. They contacted us. I thought they were kidding. They weren't, and we got a game done fairly quickly. So I think it's great. I would tell you that nationally, I think there's just been more of a sense nationally, from what I sense, of playing, that we all need to play more games. You know, I think it's harder to sell tickets for athletic departments. I think the cry for more quality non-league games is a good thing. I think it's better. If you were to ask our players, they'd much rather play that type of game. And you know, I read where, like Nick Saban said, in football, he'd get rid of all bye games. It'd just be like the NFL. You just all high majors play high majors, but you have to have everybody agree to do it. This is the only way to go about it. I mean, if everybody agreed to do it, I'm sure the players would like that.
Coach Holtman talked about like a.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to sell more tickets. You know, that's why you see some of the other leagues going to the 20-game schedule. You see I think the Big Ten just voted it in.
Coach Holtman talked about the potential of something like the Crossroads Classic that's done in Indianapolis. What are your thoughts on it?
I think, you know, the only challenge for that is where you're going to play. You know, you're going to play, you know, if we could get a new downtown arena, I think that would be awesome for our city, where you could have it 1 year in Cincinnati, 1 year in Columbus. You know, because if you played every year in Columbus, how fair is it to Cincinnati, Xavier, and Dayton? But that doesn't mean I'd be opposed to it. But I'd still rather, you know, I still like to play the, you know, home and home. But we'll see. You know, I think it's a great start. So I'm open to everything.
Coaches nitpick a lot, but has there been?
I agree.
What's the funnest part of practice so far? Has there been a fun part of practice so far that you really have enjoyed so far?
Oh, I think Kyle and Gary have great leadership, so it makes it easy. We have had very few practices that haven't been at a high level. That's because of Kyle and Gary. So that it's much harder on a coach when you have all young guys, because they don't know how, they really struggle to pay attention. That's just the trait of a young player. Two, they don't know how to practice hard, and they're not trained yet. It's trained versus untrained. So our two senior leaders are extremely mature guys, and they take on the leadership role of making sure everybody else is ready all the time. So that for me it's golden for me. You know, you may have seniors, but they may be the two guys that's sleeping in the corner, stretching before practice. So, but when your two seniors are these two guys, I mean, you know, Gary's not as vocal as Kyle, but Gary's always ready to practice. Kyle's always ready and he's always vocal. So that helps me. You know, and I've done this long enough to know it's a luxury that you don't always have it. And I'm not gonna, you know, I worry about next year, because those guys are, like John Rothstein says, Gary Clark's a problem. My problem is Gary Clark's done after this year.